The European Union's decision to lift sectoral sanctions on Syria has sparked both hope and skepticism. After more than a decade of conflict, the Syrian people are yearning for stability and economic recovery. The EU's move is a calculated gamble, aiming to support these aspirations while hedging against potential risks. The decision, announced on February 24, 2025, targets key sectors of the Syrian economy: banking, energy, and transportation. These sectors have been crippled by years of war and international isolation. By easing restrictions, the EU hopes to facilitate trade, investment, and ultimately economic growth. This move is not without its critics. Some argue that it is premature, given the lack of significant progress on political reforms in Syria. Others fear that the Assad regime, still firmly in control, will be the primary beneficiary of any economic revival. The EU's decision reflects a delicate balancing act. It attempts to address the dire humanitarian situation in Syria while also upholding its commitment to human rights and democratic values. The lifting of sanctions could breathe much-needed life into Syria's battered economy. The banking sector, for instance, could see renewed activity as international transactions become easier. This could facilitate remittances from the diaspora, a vital lifeline for many Syrians. In the energy sector, the easing of restrictions could pave the way for investments in infrastructure and exploration. This could help alleviate chronic energy shortages that have plagued the country. Similarly, the transportation sector could benefit from renewed investment, improving connectivity and facilitating trade. However, the road to economic recovery is fraught with challenges. Corruption remains rampant in Syria, and there are concerns that any influx of funds could be siphoned off by the regime or its cronies. Moreover, the security situation in parts of the country remains volatile, deterring much-needed foreign investment. The EU's decision is a calculated risk, with no guarantee of success. The EU has made it clear that the lifting of sanctions is not a blank check for the Assad regime. The bloc has tied its decision to concrete progress on democratic reforms and human rights. These include the release of political prisoners, accountability for war crimes, and meaningful steps towards a negotiated political solution. The EU has also stressed the importance of ensuring that any economic benefits from the lifting of sanctions reach all Syrians, not just a select few. The international community has a crucial role to play in supporting a genuine and sustainable peace in Syria. This includes providing humanitarian assistance, promoting dialogue between the warring parties, and holding perpetrators of human rights abuses accountable. The road to peace and reconciliation in Syria will be long and arduous, but the EU's decision, if implemented responsibly and accompanied by a genuine commitment to political reform, could represent a significant step in the right direction. While the EU has lifted some sanctions, it has also maintained targeted measures against key figures in the Assad regime and entities involved in human rights violations. These sanctions remain a crucial tool for holding the regime accountable and deterring further abuses. The EU's decision has been met with mixed reactions from the international community. Some countries have welcomed it as a positive step, while others have expressed concerns that it could embolden the Assad regime. The coming months and years will be crucial in determining the impact of the EU's decision. The Syrian government must demonstrate its commitment to genuine reform and reconciliation. The international community must remain vigilant in holding the regime accountable for its actions. The lifting of sanctions is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. The ultimate goal remains a peaceful, democratic, and prosperous Syria, where the rights and aspirations of all its citizens are respected and protected.